Welcome to the 6 Miles to Supper podcast. I'm your host, Kayla Cox, and I've lost over 80 pounds with intermittent fasting 6 days a week, eating whatever I wanted at my meals, taking a cheat day every Sunday, and walking 6 miles a day. And I'm here to help you on your weight loss journey. In today's episode, I'm going to give you 10 things to try if you're not losing weight. You know, when you're trying to lose weight and it's just not happening for you, it's probably the most frustrating part of the weight loss journey. The thing is, there's no hard and fast rule. Like, if you're not losing weight, then this is the problem. There are lots of little things it could be. And so with that in mind, I thought, I'm going to make a whole episode on just the things that you can try. And remember, the thing about intermittent fasting is you will lose weight eventually if you hone your plan to get the things going and you do those things day in and day out that will help you lose weight. It's just a matter of trial and error and figuring out what works. So the first thing you should do if you're not losing any weight with intermittent fasting is to go check your BMI. Now, the thing that happens to a lot of people is, they look in the mirror and they think, oh, I need to lose weight. And then they try to lose weight. And then they get really frustrated because they can't lose weight. And they think, what's going on? But what's actually going on is they're at a perfectly healthy weight. Really, they don't need to lose weight. So the first step is to go weigh yourself and then check your BMI. And if you find that you are already in the normal BMI zone, just know that any weight that you lose is probably going to take a while to get off. It's not going to be lots of pounds per week for most people. Most people, this is going to be a fraction of a pound a week kind of deal. And it also is helpful to kind of ask yourself why is this important to try to lose weight when you're already at a normal weight? When's it going to be enough? But, let's say that you have checked your BMI and you're either obese, like I was, or you're overweight. Here's the second thing you can try. Give it time. Give it more time. Whatever plan you're doing, give it more time, at least 6 weeks. So many people will have this question like, I've tried intermittent fasting for 3 days and I haven't lost any weight. That's just not long enough. Really 6 weeks of consistent effort, then the scale usually starts to move down. But, there are a couple of things, like your body sometimes just takes time to kind of get the message like, hey, we really do want to lose weight right now. So let's get it in gear. And another common reason is it's just really, really difficult to get into new behaviors. And so what it looks like for most people is, you're on the plan one day, then you kind of forget the next day, and then you're maybe back on the plan-ish, a few days later, and then you kind of go back and you say, oh, well, that didn't really work. Well, you didn't actually work the plan. So instead, work on getting consistent first. And then once you've been on it for 6 weeks, you should start to see some weight loss. But let's say you've been consistent for 6 weeks and you're just not seeing any results. One of the easiest things to do for most people is to push out your window a little bit longer. So this is especially true if your current fasting window is less than 16 hours. Most people that I've talked to, and this includes myself really, I noticed the best results when I was at least at a 16-hour fast. And again, you can go slow with this, and I would actually encourage you to go really slow with it. Like right now, if you're trying a 12-hour fast and it's feeling difficult, but you're not losing weight, wait until the 12-hour fast feels really easy and just get consistent with that. And then push it out a little bit further and a little bit further. It's much more important to get good at intermittent fasting than it is to lose weight quickly with intermittent fasting. Now, here's a tip for making it a little bit easier on yourself when it comes to lengthening out your window. Instead of doing 1 whole hour forward, do like 30 minutes on each end. So, for example, if normally you stop eating at say 9 o'clock, just push it up to 8:30. And then if you normally start eating, let's say at 10 o'clock in the morning, just push it out to 10:30. So that way it's not like a whole hour. It's just a little bit here and there. And again, work it slowly. Now, the fourth thing you can try is that, maybe you've got your windows, maybe you've pushed them for out as far as you want to go. So in other words, like anything longer than the current fasting that you're doing, it's just not going to work for your life. And that's totally understandable. So don't feel bad for that. Like if you're at a 14-hour fast and you're like, anything longer than this will not work for my life. Great. Stick with that. And then try these things. So first of all, eat a little less at your meal. And this can be deceptively difficult to do. Like when I say that, it's like, oh, eat a little less at your meal. You'd think, oh, well, yeah, that's super simple, super simple, right? But I have found that learning how to eat a little less than I'm used to was just a huge habit change for me. It was just like this compulsion to, grab the other slice of pizza, the next slice of pizza, like no matter how full I'm feeling, right? I would just grab that third slice or the fourth slice or whatever it was. As time went on, the slices got fewer. But the point is, this habit of having more really than you need at a meal, like you feel overfull at the end. It's just a hard habit to break, and to go the other direction, which is like stop a little bit before that. It can be really difficult, but it's a very powerful thing, and it's definitely a skill that is. It takes a while to hone, but it is a hugely effective tool. So just work on eating a little bit less. Now, number 5 is cut out snacks. And I know that does not sound fun, does it? And I want to emphasize that I never had a hard and fast rule when I was losing weight about snacks. It was more like, hey, if it's in my window, I'll allow myself a snack. But what I started to notice because of intermittent fasting and having this window of time where I just was not allowed to eat, I started to see that like, oh, usually when I'm wanting a snack, it's really because I'm stressed, or I'm procrastinating on something. It's not about the I actually need food right now to nourish my body. That was not it. It was like, I'm bored, I'm upset, I'm procrastinating on this thing, I don't want to do this other thing, so I'll go snack around. And really, for a lot of people, that's the case. So if you find that you do snack around a lot, instead of snacking, eat more at your meals. So just make it so that when your window opens up, you have a nice meal that keeps you full until the next time you eat, probably right when your window closes. Generally, people are doing about 2 meals during a basic, like say 16-8, 18-6. The thing about snacks is they can really add up. Like you might not think you're consuming very much, but if you really start to pay attention to like how much it is, like how often you're grabbing bites here and there and all that, it really adds up. It can be quite eye-opening. Number 6 is focus on consistency again. So as you're going along and you're doing these things, you've already got your window where it's at. What can happen is you're working on a lot of things, right? You're trying to eat maybe a little bit less at the meal. You're trying not to snack, and you're doing all these things, and that's a lot. And to get consistent with that, again, takes time. So focus really, really hard on being consistent. Make notes. This is really helpful. Make a note of whenever you have an off day. So, people come in from out of town, you took the day off. It was the 4th of July, you took the day off. You had a sick kid at home, you took the day off. And by the way, those are all certainly times where I take the day off. So don't feel bad if that's what's happening to you. Just realize that when you do take lots of days off, you're not being consistent anymore. And so usually results reflect that. Okay, but even when you're doing all that, it can still happen that you're just not losing any weight, that it's just staying, right around where you've always been. Here's a really important thing to learn, and that is eat without distractions. So a very common thing for a lot of us is to sit down in front of the TV, grab a snack, grab our plate. Maybe we don't want to sit there at the table and eat. Instead, we're going to go in front of the television. Or, maybe you're eating alone. You don't want to eat alone. You want to flip on the TV. I mean, I definitely had these moments when my husband was in Iraq, back when we first got married. I didn't want to just sit there and eat. Like I wanted some sort of like noise in the background. And so I would, flip on the TV and I would eat my meal right in front of the TV. But what I started to see several years ago, because I made a little rule for myself, I said, okay, I'm going to allow myself snacks, but I have to sit down at the table. I can't have my snack with I can't have my phone on. I can't be in front of the TV. And you know what? My snacking got really boring. I was like, that sounds really boring and I don't want to do it. And so I stopped snacking. But again, it was this whole like habit and ritual I had gotten into of, okay, grab a snack, sit down, relax in front of the TV. And what happens is when you're distracted by the TV, it's very easy to eat a lot of food and to not even realize that you're doing it. It's like your brain doesn't even register all that food that you're eating, which of course can lead to either weight gain or, a plateau where you're not losing any weight. So to recap, to cut out distractions from your eating, that means no TV on, no phone in your hand. Put your phone away in a different room so that you're not distracted at all by it, and just focus on your food. That's it. Now, number 8 is a tough one, and it's something I still work on, and I'm getting better, but it's just been such a slow process, and which is ironic because it's about slowing down your eating. And the thing about it is some of us, and this was certainly me, eat really fast. And when you eat really fast, it's very hard to tell when you're eating too much or you're eating just the right amount, or, that you're already full and, that you're eating past that point. This again goes back to habit, and it goes back to, first of all, not having distractions really helps. But you even past that, even when you have no distractions at all, you're just sitting there with your plate of food. What can happen is your mind, like especially if you're sitting there by yourself, and this happens to me still to this day, I'll be thinking about something, maybe something that's stressing me out, and I'll be in my own head about it, and I'll just be sitting there, like on autopilot, shoveling the food in, and then, look down at my sandwich, and the sandwich is gone. And it's like, wait, what happened? I was not even paying attention. I don't even remember eating that. So instead, learning how to slow down. So things that have helped me are, well, first of all, praying before my meal, saying that I'm thankful for the food, and really meaning that, pausing just for a couple of seconds just to kind of look at the food and really, think about like, okay, I'm about to eat this. Another thing is to chew my food more, and then also to physically put down the food or physically put down the fork, and just to take a slight pause before I pick up the fork again or before I pick up the sandwich again. And it's difficult. My husband is a slower eater than I am, so sometimes I try to like let him win when it comes to how fast we eat. That way, like I know that it's like if he finishes first, then that means I'm eating more slowly, which is a good thing. Now, maybe you're doing all of those things and you're still not losing weight. In that case, look at your stress levels. The thing is about stress, it can be so insidious. It's like it can kind of creep in, and then it's like every meal that you're eating a little faster, you're eating maybe a little bit past the point of being full, and you're not even really aware of it because you're just so stressed, and this other thing is just taking up your concentration, is taking up all your thoughts, so you're not even aware of what's going on. The scale is telling you the truth. It's like, okay, you're eating too much, but in your mind you're thinking, I'm not eating too much. I'm like it just doesn't feel that way. But stress is just such a common reason that this happens. So how do you de-stress, right? Well, first of all, take action on whatever is stressing you out. Now, of course, your weight is probably stressing you out, so this can be quite the vicious cycle, but there are likely other things going on too. Common places to investigate would be your financial situation, your marriage, your relationship with your kids, your spiritual life, your work life. These major areas, sometimes there's just like one or two things going on, and it can really stress us out. So taking action, and then also taking some time for yourself, take breaks during the day when you can, take a day off every week if you possibly can, and do fun things, have conversations with friends, go out and have a good time. And number 10, of course, I'd be remiss if I didn't say move more. Now, am I of the opinion that if you just move more, then you're going to lose weight because you're burning more calories? No, not likely. Not unless you move a whole lot more. But what I'm talking about is just get up and move around more. If you are like me and you're kind of naturally sedentary, flip that around a little bit. Get up and get a little bit more active. Usually that helps you to get in a better mood too, and it decreases some of that stress. And the other benefit of moving more is that you're physically moving yourself away from food. So you're moving yourself away from those temptations to snack, or like to overeat, especially because if you get in a habit of, say, going for a walk after your meal, you're going to start to say, I don't want to be overly full, because everybody knows it's not very fun to walk when you're overly full. So that can help you too. Just kind of say, okay, I'm going to go for a walk after my meal, and then that can help you to really stay on a good track with not eating too much. So there you have it, 10 things to try if you're not losing weight with intermittent fasting. I hope that helps you, and I'll see you in the next episode. Do you want to lose the weight without getting rid of the foods you love and that you'll go back to eating again anyway? My book, The Laid Back Guide to Intermittent Fasting, teaches you how to practice intermittent fasting so that you lose the weight sustainably and keep it off for good. You can get the audiobook read by me for free when you sign up for your 30-day trial of Audible. The link is in the show notes.